Hey, this is Chef Kathy from the Lake Clear Lodge, and I'm talking about fermented vegetables today. This is not a full tutorial, just a really short, because I was doing some things in the kitchen, so I thought I would share it with you. I had a cooking class a few days ago, and I showed somebody how to put in this, well, in particular, this is beans and carrots, because there's no reason we can't mix and match, and we were doing a quick demo with fermentation. These things right here are what make it ferment. You don't need to have those, but they're extremely helpful. So if you can put them in your budget, they're worth their gold because they will save you money on veggies and long term. Now, for fermenting or culturing or brining vegetables, they're going to be tons healthier than canning. God bless everybody who cans. I always say that because you're doing it with fresh veggies, but you're doing it with high heat, so you're killing the enzymes. Now, the Weston Price Foundation, I highly recommend. They have amazing information. They have the 11 common denominators and characteristics of traditional diets that give you nutrient-dense foods. There's a whole story behind that, but I'm just going to say that, but refer to the Weston Price organization. It's www.westonprice.org. To find out more information on lots of different foods and preparing them in a traditional manner to keep the nutrients in, and this is one of those. So again, we'll open that just before we end the video. Right now I have some wax beans just in from our beautiful CSA and some small cucumbers, so aka pickles, right? And real pickles are made with the cucumber, with salt water, not vinegar, and basically that's it. I mean, we're not going to talk about spicing and all that kind of stuff today, just a quick intro on how simple it is to do it. So I've already taken some small cucumbers, put them in my ball jar, and what you want is to pack them in so you have the least amount of air, or basically least amount of water once you cover them over with your water. I did the same thing with the wax beans, and then I'll show you how I'll just finish them off to kind of pack them in just a little bit more. Now, I could have taken more pickles and cut them up and put them on the top. I really want them near the top so that they culture and come out really wonderful. So what I was gonna do is I had some more beans, so I cut these up, and I'm gonna put those right on top. That's going to take up some space, some air, and when we put the water in, it's going to have a lot less because the process itself, again, not to go into the specifics, the lactofermentation needs to operate without air, and that's partly what these things do, and I'll show you in a second as well. So I pretty much packed these as much as I could. I could have shoved some more beans down in the bottom there to take up the space. But what I'm going to do is cover it with my water. Now, a tablespoon to a ball jar, this is a quart, is about what you need to culture your veggies, AKA make them come out crispy, probiotic, and super nutritious. And that's what we're going for. Also preserving them, right? Folks used to, they wanted to get from the season through the winter and non-season with their veggies, and that's what they would do is culture them. They didn't have canning jars and heat. They didn't do it that way. They cultured them, and this is the truly nutritious way to preserve your vegetables in this case. So I've got a little cup actually of tea because with cucumbers in particular, you want them to stay crispy. So there's a little trick of putting some tannin in from the tea. 1 tea bag in one of these jars is way too much. So I just did a little bit of strong tea, and I'm just going to pour that in so they have a little bit of tannin in there because I used to try it with a full tea bag. For a cup, it's way too much, and your pickles taste like tea. You don't want that. You just want the tannin to keep them crisp. So I filled this up to close to the top, and I have some fresh kale here. You could use, I've even used lettuce, you can use cabbage. You just want some greens to basically keep your vegetables under that brine, under the water, and get it right to the top. So there's a little bit of, maybe not pressure, but you want that to be right level to the top, so that when you put your top on, it's just going to keep that down. And that is really all you do. Again, this is not a full tutorial. I just want to show you how easy this is. There are some tips and tricks. And then this particular top, you add water through here, just half and half, and that's what lets the lacto-fermentation happen. The gases can come out, but the air can't come in. And in 4 days, I will have lacto-fermented pickles, crunchy and probiotic and full of nutrients. And that's kind of as easy as it gets. Depending on the spices, again, not a full tutorial. Later you can put spices in now, or you could put them in later. But this is just to show you how simple this is to make really probiotic, nutrient-dense foods. So for the beans, again, I've put them close to the top. I'm really not going to put too much more in. I could, but I'm going to really just kind of stack that. And you put the water in there. That's not as much as I'd want, actually. So I'm going to put a little bit more water. And I think I have a little bit of salt here. So let me just take a pinch of salt and stick that in there. And it's pretty forgiving, so I'm not too concerned about it. And then again, place the kale right on top to hold those down, because the top is going to go right on. And this is a different kind of fermentation top, but same idea, same exact idea. You pour the water in, this is gonna float so that, again, your gas can come out, but your air can't come in. In 4 days, you'll have lacto-fermented beans. And as it does it, you're going to get bubbles coming up, probably about 24 hours or less if it's in a warm place. And I have a gas stove, so I put it on top of my gas stove, not right on top of the pilots, but just so it's warm. You'll have bubbles coming up. And that's how you can tell the process is working. And in 4 days, all you do is take the top off, put another top on, and you can keep them in the fridge for a long time. These have been going for 4 days. They're a little cloudy, the reaction's already happened, and no more bubbles. So they're pretty much at their end. So we're gonna open it up. Now there's this kale on top. I'm just gonna discard that. There was a little bit of dill that I had put in there. And we have beautiful lacto-fermented beans. Now this is going to make the vinegar. So for example, with pickles, you think pickles are made in vinegar if you haven't done lacto-fermentation before, or culturing or fermenting. You think that pickles are made in vinegar. Well, they're not. The reaction of lacto-fermentation makes vinegar, and it tastes much different than the one you buy in the store. They're just wonderful. And you have to taste them for yourself to see the difference. And then we have the carrots down here. I have some yellow and orange carrots down there. They're going to be, see if I can snag them out here. I'm not sure I can. This is a yellow carrot. It's going to be crunchy, it's going to be crispy, and it's going to be lacto-fermented. So, a little bendable, but just enough to be really, really good. And great for kids to munch on, anybody to munch on. You could use these in a coleslaw. They're going to be really, really good. And a coleslaw is a different one because I do the cabbage and cut up carrots as a cultured coleslaw, and that's one of the best things that I really, really love. So again, just an intro. If you're interested in preserving vegetables for fall through the winter, culturing is one of the things to explore, and you can check out more videos that I have on that, and even classes once we get through get to the fall. We're taping this midsummer, and we'll have classes right here at the Lake Claire Lodge. So stay nourished, everybody, and make your food nutrient dense.